Oh, speaking of people lying, by the way, and continue along with those lies, predictably, we have Dana Fash. Remember what we were talking about with respect to anti-Semitism? Here it is. Dana Fash. A sad reality. Anti-Semitism is everywhere, and it comes from both ends of the political spectrum. Let's hear what this fucking fascist piece of shit had to say on CNN.
And now to a sad reality, and that is anti-Semitism is everywhere, and it comes from both ends of the political spectrum. But politicians sometimes sidestep calling it out when it comes from a member of their own party. We saw two examples on State of the Union yesterday. First, with Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer, when my co-anchor, Jake Tapper.
Bro, they did this shit with Ilhan Omar back in the day. They did this shit with Ilhan Omar back in the day. Okay? Straight up. They did this exact same shit with Ilhan Omar back in the day. Universal condemnation over something she didn't say that was objectively correct. What she said was objectively correct. Okay? In terms of like lobbying. Think about it. When Ilhan Omar was in the crosshairs and they were fucking ripping her into shreds and the Democratic Party was like literally also participating in it, what was the fucking major thing that she said? That the Israeli lobby has a tremendous amount of influence on the way that legislation works. This is obviously the reality, and it is so much so the fucking reality that like now it's the reality that most people are aware of, okay? And it's crazy. It's crazy that she said moneyed interests are what motivates a lot of American politicians. It is wild to me. It's wild to me that like people ripped her into shreds. They pulled older statements. They try to make it seem like she was pro 9/11. You know, they pulled out all the stops. And they've pulled out those stops on me as well. It's something that I fucking personally have seen too. And now they're doing it to Rashida Tlaib again. Okay?
Asked about a Democratic congresswoman's accusation that the state's Jewish attorney general was letting
Jewish attorney general. Oh wow, dude. I didn't realize it was I didn't realize it was like that. She never actually mentioned that she was Jewish. She never actually mentioned her fucking religious or ethnic background whatsoever, and simply said this decision coming from a Democratic attorney general is additionally bad. It's expected from a Republican, but what the fuck is a Democrat doing this? I call into question the Attorney General's office and how biased they are in this issue, on the issue of Palestine, in comparison to not behaving this way on any other fucking issue where Democrats are supposed to be champions of free speech and free protest. Okay? I voted for Nessel at the 2017 MDP convention to be the Attorney General nominee for Dems. I learned this month that she was Jewish. Yeah. Like, that's the other side of the equation that doesn't even fucking matter. Like, it's just irrelevant. It's completely and utterly irrelevant to the subject matter, which is precisely why they are the ones who are fucking putting it in there. Jake Tapper is the one who's like, she's Jewish.
letting her religion influence her job.
Do you think that Tlaib suggests?
It's like funny because, bro, it literally, at this point, this is like the Nazi anti-Semitic canard of just being like, oh, wow, like, I guess it's anti-Semitism when you criticize a Jewish person for anything. Like, that's what Nazis are supposed to say, okay? That's what Nazis say, right? You're not supposed to lean into that and use it as a defensive posture, because when you do that, you're giving credence to fucking Nazis, okay? It is so goddamn annoying. It is so ridiculous that, like, they quite literally are doing that as a straight up defense mechanism where they're like, well, I guess you're criticizing a Jewish woman, anti-Semitism much? It's like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about? What are you fucking talking about? That's insane. You can't do that. Like, that is such a cynical deployment of anti-Semitism as a shield at a time when anti-Semitism is skyrocketing, okay? Like real anti-Semitism, not from the river to the sea anti-Semitism, not the fake shit that ADL adds to pad the fucking stats, at a time when the stats are already fucking alarmingly high as a direct consequence of people looking at what Israel is doing and go, what the fuck? They say they're doing this for Judaism. Well, I guess Jews do control the fucking media. That's anti-Semitism. That's real anti-Semitism. And so many more Americans now than they did prior to October 7 firmly are committed to that position. Okay? Firmly. So at a time when American Jews need a honest broker of the fucking truth in terms of anti-Semitic incidents, more than they ever have, okay? The one outlet that is propped up by the media, the one outlet that is fucking propped up by the goddamn media is an institution that has coordinated and collaborated with the apartheid government of South Africa historically and has targeted American Jews that were anti-apartheid protesters and still continues to target American Jews that are anti-apartheid and anti-genocide demonstrators. And that's like the formative anti-Semitism expert is an institution that is objectively in the tank for Israel's apartheid and nothing else. Very sad state of affairs.
Suggestion that Nessel's office is biased was anti-Semitic?
Yeah, what was crazy about it is that, Jake Tapper read the fucking quote. It's not like Jake Tapper doesn't have access to the quote. He read the quote and then just lied about what Rashida Tlaib said. He read the direct quote that Rashida Tlaib gave and then turned around and was like, well, she is Jewish, and Rashida Tlaib absolutely did this for anti-Semitism. Felix brought up a good point, by the way. Felix Biederman, of course. Hold on. I'm going to pull this up. I mean, it's not even that crazy of a take, but it's like Jake Tapper would be fired or at least suspended if he lied this blatantly about almost anything else, okay? Anything else. Anything at all. But this is a double Monty. It's both a cynical deployment of anti-Semitism as a defense shield, okay? And also, it is incredibly Islamophobic. So the way that he can do this, like when you hit both of those tunes, like you're not incurring any penalties whatsoever, okay? You're not getting any penalties for that whatsoever. It is the most normal process. It is the most normal thing you can do. It is the expected thing you do in media.
Listen, Jake, you know what? All I can say is that I know that our Jewish community is in pain, as is our Palestinian and Muslim and Arab communities in Michigan.
Congresswoman Tlaib is suggesting that she shouldn't be prosecuting these individuals that Nessel says broke the law, and that she's only doing it because she...
They're going to say she implied it through a statement without providing the full context of the interview and quote. It doesn't matter. There is no area where she even remotely implies it. Like, what are we talking about?
She's Jewish, and the protesters are not. That's quite an accusation. Do you think it's true?
Like I said, Jake, I'm not going to get in the middle of this argument that they're having.
And then there was this exchange with Republican Senator Tom Cotton.
Are you comfortable with that? With Donald Trump saying if he loses preemptively, it's the fault of the Jews, a group already experiencing a rise of anti-Semitism in this country from the left and the right, but...
Dog, Tom Cotton is like the #1 dick rider of Israel. I can't believe they're about to say he's anti-Semitic. What the fuck?
Still, preemptively, it's the fault of the Jews?
Well, Jake, Donald Trump has been saying things like this for at least 11 months since the October 7th attack.
I've never heard you say anything like that. If we lose, it will be the fault of the Jews.
But, Jake, Donald Trump, again, has been saying for months that anyone who cares about Israel, anyone who cares about the fate of the U.S.-Israel alliance should vote for him.
I'm talking about Jewish voters who vote for any number of reasons on any number of issues.
And he was adding...
Wait a minute. But you just said Zionism is Judaism. You implied it, and you have implied it time and time again. You use it cynically as a fucking defense mechanism over and over again. I don't really understand. I don't really understand this at all. So if that's the case, if that's the truth that you present on a Monday, you have to continue talking about that as though it's truthful on Tuesday. You know what I mean? You can't just like say that all day, every day on CNN and then turn around and be like, can you believe Donald Trump said this? So I guess you must not believe it then. Because he doesn't. And that's my point, okay? Because it is an inherently anti-Semitic sentiment to claim that all Jews care about is Israel and that is the only thing that they care about, and Israel represents Judaism. That is an anti-Semitic sentiment. That is precisely why both Nazis and ultra-Zionists represent this sentiment and repeat it on a regular fucking basis. Problem with Jake Tapper is that he wants to fucking turn around and use both sides of that argument cynically. On Monday, he'll say, oh, if you criticize someone, if you call them a Zionist, you're actually, you mean Jew and you hate Jews, and Zionism is just simply Israel having a right to exist in the violent and apartheid conditions that it currently exists under, and that Israel has a right to be a fucking a Jewish supremacist ethno-state that actually has an apartheid and is currently conducting a genocide. And if you actually criticize that, that means you hate all Jews. All Jews love this. That's all they think about. If you believe that on Monday, you got to believe that on Tuesday. You can't just say that on Monday. As a matter of fact, you can't say that in the same day because this is Sunday, not even Monday. On Sunday, Jake Tapper literally reiterated this position time and time again. He does it all the time. So when Trump says it, what's the problem? All of a sudden it becomes an issue, doesn't it? How does that work? When Trump says, you Jews need to vote for me, I'm giving you exactly what you want. All you care about is Israel. How is that any different than Jake Tapper also repeating that position all the time as a defensive posture? It's not different at all. Trump does tell it like it is, right? The problem is, he also believes in the fucking false notion that all Jews care about is goddamn Israel. It's not the truth. But Jake Tapper knows it's not the truth, and yet he still continuously deflects and uses this as a cynical fucking shield to be like, no, you can't criticize Israel. You're anti-Semitic because Israel defends all Jews across the world. That's fucked up. That's fucked up, big dog.
An event talking about combating anti-Semitism here and around the world.
Just yes or no. Are you comfortable with him using that language?
Jake, it's the same kind of language he's been using for months.
That doesn't mean it's okay.
Yes, but it's his point. Jake, he's the most pro-Israel president we've ever had.
Now, Jake asked that question over and over again. Senator Cotton never answered. Now,
it's insane that the mainstream media is making Trump's statement an Israel issue. I think it's dangerous because it literally incites Trump's base to blame the Jews even harder for some for the election if he loses. This as a Jew is fucking frightening, and it's fucking wild that the media isn't covering the aspect of Trump's statements more. Well, the problem is the media isn't covering that aspect of Trump's statements more because the media agrees with Donald Trump. Whether they believe it genuinely or not doesn't change that reality. That's the whole point. They literally also will cynically claim that, like, Israel represents the interests of all Jews, and if you ever criticize Israel, that means you're actually talking about Jews, and they repeat it over and over and over again, despite the fact that they know it's not fucking correct, okay? They know it's not correct. Maybe some of, like, the most deluded ultra-Zionists might believe that to be true, but, like, most people know it's not the fucking case. Most people know that that's not the case. It's just a country, okay? That's what Israel is. It's a country, just like any other fucking country. Just like Saudi Arabia doesn't represent the interests of the entire ummah, the entire Islam, the world of Islam, despite having fucking Mecca right there. Why does nobody ever go, oh, you're criticizing Saudi Arabia, quite Islamophobic, sweetie? Why does nobody ever say that? Okay? It's literally a fucking theocratic, it's a theocratic kingdom. Like what? What's up? They do though? Fuck no, they don't. Get out of here. You will never, ever in a million fucking years hear that from a single goddamn media fucking orbiter in the same severity that you hear that about Israel on a daily fucking basis. What are you talking about? Not a single person will ever seriously bring that up. If they did, people will make fun of them. Non-fucking stop. And they should, because it's fucking stupid. That's a stupid thing to say. Oh, criticizing Saudi Arabia for doing genocide? Quite Islamophobic, sweetie. That's ridiculous. Here is a statement from me back in May 21st, 2021. Stop conflating Jews all around the world with the horrific, violent Israeli occupation. You are being anti-Semitic when you claim that all Jews are a monolith in their unconditional support for a far-right, ultranationalist, ethno-state government engaging in war crimes. I've been saying the same damn shit for years and years and years, okay? It's consistency. It's called being correct. It's called consistency. It's called having moral courage. something that is sorely lacking from most of our outlets in both mainstream media and even independent media. Now, use that argument for Iran? What do you mean? That would be hilarious, dude. That would be fucking hilarious. Like, can you imagine fucking people being like, John Bolton, sweetie, you're being quite Islamophobic. Also, the reason why I use Saudi Arabia and not Iran as an example is because Iran is a foreign adversary. So we do actually do quite a bit of Islamophobia to justify our actions against Iran. Okay, Iranian civilians who take it from both sides in that situation, both from their own theocratic governance and also the goddamn Western world with their crippling sanctions. Anyway. Going to Zindet like Mark with the goon debt. You're about to go into goon debt if you don't subscribe at the top of the hour when there's a 3-minute ad break. Also, here, this is another one of my like old school enemies from way back in the day. I love seeing these like supposed fucking open-minded like Joe Rogan orbiters come out and very openly defend Israel. Like every single one of these fucking dipshits who's like Islam is the greatest evil of all time. All these like IDW frauds coming out and being like, whatever Israel does in Lebanon or in Palestine, it don't matter. It's all fucking worthy. It is all deserved, just like you deserve the top of the hour ad break if you haven't subscribed. What? In that case, I know many Muslims who are Islamophobic because they can't stand Iran. What? I don't think you understood anything that I said. Anyway, here's the 3-minute ad break now. This alert just hit wire, attributed to a senior U.S. Department official. Asked about Israel's strategy against Hezbollah, the official says, can't recall in recent memory period which escalation led to de-escalation. Oh, wow. This will surely change the dynamic. No, it won't, because we're too busy talking about this dumb shit.
Cotton has spoken out when it appears to come from the political left. He actually tweeted, there's no place for anti-Semitism in America, when Jake posted about people harassing yours truly at a book event. CNN's David Chalian is back with me. I was grateful for that, as anybody who is the subject and the victim of anti-Semitism, hate, or any other hate. And
Yeah. No, totally, Dana. You got victimized with anti-Semitic hate. What does this mean? Israel sets off a nuke, okay, in Gaza. You defend the setting off of that nuke. People say you're a fucking bloodless monster for your defense of setting off that nuke, and then they're the anti-Semites. Like, what is this? What is this argument? Like, oh, you could just like say whatever you want about Israel, but you know, if they criticize you, then you know they're in the wrong. They're anti-Semitic. Got it. Seems good. As a Lebanese, I keep talking to my dad whether I talk about the gene used to him in Palestine. He mentions that Palestine tried to take over when he was a kid or something. So he has a bias there. Seems to be defending Israel in the same when it comes to Lebanon. Yeah, his attitude might, unfortunately, change, unfortunately, later down the line. When you're convinced that someone is wrong, when that person refuses to discuss the matter, refuses to provide evidence on the grounds that everyone has the right to think as they please, you can't be tolerant. Freedom of thought does not mean freedom to wander and ramble. First time hearing this, was it actually a nuke? No, Israel never set off a nuke in Gaza. They set off 5 nukes worth of munitions in Gaza. 5, not 1, 5 nukes worth of munitions. It wasn't just like one nuke, okay? But it was such a consistent level of bombing that it was a nuke worth, multiple nukes worth of bombs. Israel cannot set off a nuke in Gaza because of the fallout. Because Gaza is literally right there, okay? It would be like nuking Brooklyn from Manhattan. That's the distance. But what they can do is use more conventional weapons, rockets of different sorts, to, you know, use equivalent firepower without the fallout.
the key is, which we have learned the hard way, is you got to call it out no matter where it comes from. What does it tell you about the inability or unwillingness to do so when it comes from a prominent person in your own party?
That you change your word. It's not an inability.
Yeah.
It's unwillingness, and it's because you're putting politics ahead of principle.
It's always two dumb bitches talking to one another going, exactly, okay? Shut the fuck up, dude. What is this circle jerk, dude? Hey, guys. I know a shit ton of awful things are happening in Gaza and Lebanon, but you know what the real problem is? Something Rashida Tlaib didn't even fucking say that we just made up and we are claiming she said, and then we're arguing about how hard she said the thing that she didn't even fucking say. Like, thank you. Thank you for cutting a lot of commentary around this made up thing that you made up instead of covering anything real. That's cool.
Principle and morality. And that's what both of them did there. It's not very hard to say that Rashida.
It's just funny because, like, the person who conducted the interview, the journalist, okay, the investigative reporter who conducted the interview keeps reiterating that this is a falsehood, okay? That they are lying about Rashida Tlaib's intention. They are lying about Rashida Tlaib. They are lying about things that she said. They are just making up things that she said. Under any other circumstance, like, there would be a mechanism of defense. When CNN did this with Donald Trump, there was at least like a right-wing media circuit that would go crazy over it and disparage CNN. But there's no one for someone like Rashida Tlaib. You got me, and you got maybe a handful of fucking journalists. No, she said there's an anti-Palestinian bias among many institutions. That is very different than what you're claiming she implied. Where is your pager, says Marinsky Jonas. Will they have Tlaib to defend herself? No, they'll do fucking incredible. They will go to incredible lengths to besmirch her and smear her over and over and over again. And for the record, if you are sympathetic to Muslim Americans, if you know any Muslim Americans, if you know any Arab Americans, if you are Muslim yourself in the Western world, if you're Arab yourself in the Western world, you already know that there's no one that's going to defend her. What are you, crazy? This does not happen, okay? What they are doing right now has happened so many fucking times. It happened with Ilhan Omar. It happened with Rashida Tlaib. It even fucking happens to me, chat. Like, what are we talking about? I'm not a member of Congress. It just does not matter. That's a lot of research tabs. Yes, you're right. I should actually go on Wikipedia instead to find Steve Neveling, who wrote the fucking article with Rashida Tlaib, responding to a Twitter post. I should just find it on Wikipedia instead. Thank you. You know, I don't know if you know this, but sometimes journalists still are on Twitter, okay? And they respond to other commentators who are lying on Twitter to call out that they're lying on Twitter. And there is functionally no way of covering that story without going on Twitter. Thank you for repeating an idiotic statement that you heard from your consistently wrong Debate Daddy account created in 2012. That was so fast. I know. I got him. I was just pretending to be a fucking idiot. I know, dude. I know. You got me. You got me so good. Absolutely. Everyone is admiring how good you got me. I'm crying. You're so good at pretending to be a fucking moron that you have 35,000 people convinced that you actually are a moron. And to be fair, you might be. You know? He's crying. Aw, fuck. And I can't clip. Shame. Aw. Aw. I'm shaking. I'm going to go back to my Discord and be like, I'm shaking. Speaking of the community that these fucking shitheads come from, okay? This is the way that they operate, if you want to know. Let's take a look.
Free Stephen Kenneth Bottle II. Hey, Frogan! Free Destiny, motherfucker! Free Stephen Kenneth Bottle II! He did nothing wrong! And you kick that shirt? No. I just did. Oh, you did nothing, pussy. Shut your bitch ass up, nigga. Hey, don't come at me, bro. You're gonna do something. Don't touch me. What you gonna do? Do. Fucking retard. Kill yourself.
Dude, everyone thought that this guy was super cool when he did that. Like, everyone. He sounds so nervous. I mean, of course he sounds nervous. Yeah. Yeah, he did this to E-Rob too and then got fucking clapped. Yeah, it's the same guy. It's the fucking Destiny fan, Destiny Orbiter, who is like an absolute fucking sociopath. Too bad the clip ends before he drowns in pussy. Yeah, dude. Everyone, the clip ends right before every single person that was around him started high-fiving him immediately. They were like, dude, you are so sick. There is no difference between this and 4chan incels. Yeah, there is no difference because this is what this community has become. It's all fucking 4chan incels. And that is precisely what happens when you put a fucking 4chan incel out in public, okay? Strap a camera on them. This is exactly how they operate. The amount of clips I've seen of kick streamers harassing people at TwitchCon is insane. I feel like the main thing stopping that platform from succeeding are some people on it. One of them asked my 12-year-old daughter to go to clubs with her. They are banned now. They're going to be banned from fucking life. Jesus Christ. Even the losers were like, yeah, not a good look. Sire will not like this. What? If you're in case you're curious about the brain trust they have over there, I guess this dude has blocked me, which is pretty funny. Hello, little one. Would you like to join my team? I just don't understand what causes someone to get to this degree. You know what I mean? What do they get out of this though? Like, why do they put so much effort into something with no reward? It's a hyper specific type of person. It's there are a lot of communities like this online. If you take regular showers, you are completely unfamiliar with this stuff. But this is basically like the final stage of behaving like a online troll who normally is like anonymous. There are a lot of people who want someone to act out their desires. A lot of people who never go outside that want at least one person to act out those desires. So they'll max out at like 1,000 to maybe like 3,000 live concurrent viewers. And usually it just stays at that level. But yeah, this person behaves exactly like an avatar for all of those people who can't really go outside. Hezbollah run health ministry. Oh, they did it. Told you they would do it. Hezbollah overnight said 16 of his members, including senior leader Ibrahim Akil and another top commander Ahmed Wahbi, were among the 37 killed. That Lebanon's Hezbollah-run health ministry said were killed in an Israeli airstrike in a Beirut suburb. Yeah. Yep, there it is.